but when she was young, I loved camping. How many of you have ever been camping? Right? You love sitting around the campfire, and what better place to tell stories than around a campfire? But this story is something that happened to me when I was young, and it's not so much a story that happened around the campfire, but there is a campfire in the story. So there we were. I was much younger, probably about 8 years old, and we were all sitting around the campfire. My mom, my dad, myself, my siblings, and we're just enjoying just the ambiance. We're in the middle of the woods, it was nice and dark, and I was sitting on this log beside the fireplace. And if any of you are like me, you love lightning bugs. And as I'm sitting there, staring at the fire, and just kind of looking around and enjoying the peace of the woods, I look over and I see a light. And my first thought is lightning bug. So, me, being the child that I was, I wanted to catch this lightning bug. And as I walked over and I reached out for it, it just moved away. And I found myself walking further and further, just dying to catch this lightning bug. But every time I almost had it in my grasp, it moved just a little bit further. And I kept going and I kept going, and then something unfortunate happened. It just disappeared. And I found myself standing in the middle of the woods. And as I looked around, it was dark. It was foggy. Somehow the mist from the stream that we were next to had settled in. And so everything was in this gray haze. And as I looked around, I realized I couldn't see the campfire anymore, and I couldn't hear anything anymore. And that's when I started to get really concerned. I started to get panicked. Here I am, a small child, and I'm in the middle of the woods. And as I'm looking left, and I'm looking right, and I'm looking behind me, I can't even tell which way I came to get in here. But that's when I hear it. Crack. Now this one, it sounded a little far away. It sounded, it was definitely over here. And then I heard crack. Now this one was a little bit closer, but it seemed like it was over here. And now I'm really starting to get a little bit nervous. And I hear a third one, and it goes crack, and it's right there behind me. And immediately, as a child, I take off running, and I'm getting hit in the head with branches, and I'm doing everything I can to try to get away from whatever it is that's chasing me. I get way back into the woods, and then I stop, and I scream, "Help!" as loud as I can, hoping to goodness that somebody could hear me. But I didn't hear anything. The only thing I heard was whatever it was that was chasing me, still chasing me. So I took off running again, and here I'm going through the woods, getting hit, tripping over branches, and then I fall. But before I could get up, I realized it was too late. Because what I was looking at while I was laying on the ground was a pair of feet. I couldn't make out exactly what it was from the darkness, but they were definitely feet. And at this point, the only thing I could hear was breathing, and I couldn't tell if it was it breathing or if it was me breathing. My heart pounding in my chest. I didn't want to look up, but I did want to look up. And as I slowly looked up, I saw his head. Just a head. Hair disheveled. Just a complete mess every which way. But it wasn't the hair. It was that face. Or rather the lack of a face. See, in the darkness I couldn't see anything. And I don't know if it was just the darkness or if it was my eyes or what it was. But the only thing I saw in that face was a set of eyes. And they were staring holes right through me. Just glistening in the darkness. And there we were, staring at each other. And the only thing I could hear was that breathing. Heart pounding in my chest. And as we sat there for what seemed like an eternity, and something happened that I never expected. Bam! A light came on. And as it turns out, well, the creature that I thought was chasing me was actually my little brother. The light was my dad's flashlight. They heard me screaming and came out to find me. And of course his hair was a mess. We'd been swimming all day. And yeah, he smelled somewhat familiar, I guess, from the s'mores we had been eating earlier. And as it turns out, once I was able to calm down a little bit, I realized I actually wasn't that far away from the campfire. So we went back, and to make a long story short, nothing bad actually happened to me that day. But I did learn a very valuable lesson, and that is never ever leave the campfire alone at night, because you never quite know what could be waiting in the woods for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul II.